This is the informative story of some of the biggest and heaviest American classic cars ever built. The highways of the United States were littered with giant beasts, from the 1960s to the early 1990s. These big flamboyant cars were so popular that they were nicknamed land yachts, and they were the very staple of the American car industry for many decades. These beasts were big, bold, and well, sometimes beautiful, and sometimes not so beautiful in an era where size mattered. Back then, size was everything. So the bigger the better, or so most car enthusiasts thought in those days. These 10 cars we are about to present to you in this video were simply the biggest of the big. We will now start the countdown from the number 10 down to the very top. Coming in at our number 10 spot is the 1963 Dodge Custom 880. The incessant demand for bigger cars kicked into top gear by the early 1960s. As expected, the biggest U.S. automakers were locked in a battle of supremacy to produce the biggest of the big cars. The mantra of this battle seemed to sound something like, "You produce a big car, we will produce a bigger one immediately that will rival yours." Dodge, in a bid to compete with the likes of Chevrolet and Chrysler, soon built the 1963 Dodge Custom 880. The Custom 880 is a four-door sedan powered by a 360.8 cubic inches V8 engine that churns out 265 horsepower. This land yacht measures 214.8 inches in length, 79 inches in width, and weighs 3,745 pounds. The Dodge Custom 880 has a top speed of 119 miles per hour and accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds. At the number 9 spot, we have the 1975 Dodge Charger SA. I bet that when you hear of the Dodge Charger, the first thing that comes to mind is a powerful muscle car. However, sorry to disappoint you this time, but the 1975 Dodge Charger SA was the exact opposite of what the modern Charger is. The Dodge Charger SA is simply more of a luxury coupe than it is a muscle car. The Dodge Charger SA is a two-door coupe that boasts a 5.2-liter V8 engine that sends 150 brake horsepower and 255 pound-foot of torque to the car's rear wheels. The SEA measures 216 inches in length and 76.3 inches in width and comes in at a weight of 3,850 pounds. We are done with the beast on our number 9 spot. So, moving on to the number 8 spot, we present to you the 1970 Ford Limited. The 1970 Ford LTD was arguably one of the best-selling cars that Ford built between 1969 and 1978. Little wonder, then, that over 7.75 million units of the LTD were reportedly sold during the 9 years the car existed. The LTD came equipped with some amazing features for intriguing gizmos and fixtures. These included retractable headlights, a die-cast grille that was inspired by the Ford Thunderbird, attractive exterior molding, an electric clock, and a cruise-o-matic automatic transmission. The Ford LTD is powered by a 5.8-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that delivers 240 brake horsepower and 350 pound-foot of torque. This car measures 216.2 inches in length and 79.2 inches in width. This beast weighed a whopping 4,000 pounds. The beast we have at our number 7 spot has quite an interesting story. And the beast is none other than the 1971 Buick Riviera. Buick simply built the 1971 Riviera to compete with and even outperform its nemesis, the Ford Thunderbird. The 1971 Riviera is a second-generation Riviera that Buick made bigger, bolder, and, well, not so better than all its predecessors. Yes, I said not so better than all its predecessors because the car's ventilation system had an annoying habit of sucking in rainwater and exhaust fumes into the car. This single shortcoming of the Riviera, which its owners bitterly and publicly complained about, was disastrous for Buick as the car did not garner much popularity and profits like the company had hoped it would. Nicknamed the boat tail for its unique design that saw its rear end curved to mimic a boat tail, the Riviera looked beautiful though. The Riviera measures 217.4 inches in length and 79.9 inches in width and weighs in at a whopping 4,127 pounds. At the number 6 spot, we present to you the 1969 Dodge Polara. The 1969 Dodge Polara is a four-door sedan car that boasts a 5.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. This engine has a maximum output of 230 horsepower. The Polara was available in 5 different body styles that boasted the same V8 engine, but with varied outputs. The Polara is a textbook example of a land yacht. This car measures 220.8 inches in length and 79.3 inches in width, and weighs in at 3,148 pounds. Please be patient. We are halfway through the list already, with our number 5 spot being occupied by the 1959 Chrysler New Yorker Town and Country wagon. The name of this car alone would have undoubtedly told you already that it was an all-American-styled car. The 1959 Chrysler New Yorker Town & Country is a 5-door. This behemoth of a wagon features a rear-wheel drive drivetrain. It also boasted a 6.4-liter V8 engine that pushes out a whopping 350 horsepower. The iconic wagon also boasted a 3-speed automatic transmission. This remarkable classic car accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.3 seconds, and its top speed stands at 123 miles per hour. The Chrysler New Yorker measures 220.1 inches in length and 79.5 inches in width. The New Yorker also weighed a whopping 4,120 pounds. At the number 4 spot, we have the honor to present to you the 1980 Plymouth Grand Fury. The 1980 Plymouth Grand Fury is a classic car that is best associated with its identity of once being a police favorite, for whatever reasons, best known to the cops that made it their favorite car back then. Perhaps because of the Fury in its name, because the cops are always furious when chasing down daredevil criminals on the run. The Plymouth Grand Fury has 3 engine options: a 3.7-liter slant 6i6 engine, a 5.2-liter LAV8 engine, and a 5.9L LAV8 engine. All these engines are paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission. This police favorite measures 221.5 inches in length and 79.3 inches in width, and weighs in at 4,125 pounds. Coming in at our number 3 spot is the 1973 Chevrolet Impala Custom Coupe. When Chevrolet was unveiling their 1973 Impala Custom Coupe, their tone sounded more like a political campaign speech than a car unveiling exercise. But Chevrolet can be easily forgiven for such an unorthodox marketing style, because the 2-door coupe, Impala Custom, really lived up to the hype and came fully equipped with everything that Chevrolet promised car enthusiasts during their marketing campaign of the Impala. The Impala came equipped with a 350 cubic inch turbo-fire V8 engine that churned out a maximum output of 145 horsepower. The Impala also boasted a turbo-hydromatic transmission. This beast measures 221.9 inches in length and 79.5 inches in width, and weighs a whopping 4,140 pounds. At our penultimate number 2 spot, enter the 1976 Cadillac El Dorado convertible. Built to commemorate America's 200th birthday, the 1976 Cadillac El Dorado convertible came only in a unique color of white with red and blue pinstripes, clearly depicting the American flag. This Cadillac was so loved by car enthusiasts that it was nicknamed the Golden One. This beast is powered by an 8.2-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that pushes 190 horsepower to the beast's front-wheel drive drivetrain. This very iconic classic car that is still so much loved by vintage car enthusiasts and car collectors alike to this day measures 224.1 inches in length and 79.8 inches in width, and weighs in at 4,955 pounds. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for, we are much honored to present to you the number 1 car on our list today, which is none other than the 1976 Ford Thunderbird. The Ford Thunderbird was a car that screamed elegance, class, and luxury from a mile away. The Thunderbird featured some of the coziest interiors ever seen in a car, both past and present, with a posh cabin whose floor was lined with such fluffy carpeting that you can't help but remove your shoes once you step into this masterpiece from Ford. Talking of powertrains, the Thunderbird was powered by a 7.0-liter V8 engine that lashes out a very respectable 215 horsepower. The Thunderbird boasted of a 3-speed cruise-o-matic transmission. The Thunderbird was simply big, bold, beautiful, and of course powerful. The Thunderbird measures 225 inches in length and 79.3 inches in width, and weighed over a whopping 5,000 pounds. If that is not big enough, then I wonder what big is. Which car do you remember best from this era of big and heavy? Leave us a comment below. Thanks for watching and supporting our channel by subscribing, and please check out some of our other interesting stories.